Okay. Yesterday we started the Gemara that discussed that Hashem created Adam. It says B'shnei Yudim. It says we wanted to know why it is two yuds. It says Vayitzer, and Hashem created Adam. Vayitzer Hashem Elakim es Adam. It's the normal type of usage. You would say, you should say one. Vayitzer is one yud. What's the double yud? Extra yud as an extra letter in the Torah, and not only nothing such thing as an extra letter. The way of the vowels of the Torah, there is drama on why a word is written a certain way. I want to illustrate with this week's parsha to show you the extra. This week's parsha, we have the 10 Commandments, Aseret Debrot. The Torah says, don't kill. And there's something called Tama El Tama Tachton. The way that they read it in the synagogue is different than the way they read it in the regular normal reading. Of the one way it's read Lo Tirtzach, and one way it's read Lo Tirtzach. It's read in a with a tirtzach, which is a patach, tirtzach sound, and sometimes it's read with the kamutz, the tirtzach. And the Vilna, I think the Vilna says an amazing idea. What is the difference between tirtzach, sometimes with the patach, and tirtzach with the kamutz? And he says tirtzach is open up. Poteach esedecha, sound from the poteach esedecha. Sometimes you could kill somebody opening up your mouth, by snitching to the government, by embarrassing somebody, by, it's like a shofar damim. In a certain sense, it's like blood moves. So we say to embarrass someone. There's many forms of murder. Sometimes it's with a knife, sometimes, so therefore, lo tirtzach, don't kill in all different types of fashion. Lo tirtzach. There's also in Hashem's book, there's killing in other fashions. By closing your mouth when you could go help and save somebody. You could have saved him. When somebody goes ahead and wants to do this, and you could stand up for the person. And ani chashiv kamei, the person who is poor, he's missing something in life. So it's a form of murder. You are killing by not getting involved. Person goes ahead and comes to you and he needs money and you didn't help him. Don't kill by closing the kamat, the down is kamitza, is kamitza is to cut, to close. Don't kill by closing. There's many forms of killing. Is that an amazing shot in the Vilna? Even the way the vowel, how you read it with the the punctuation, has a great difference. There's great meaning. So certainly one has great meaning. So therefore, the Gemara wants to know what is this? What is that the Torah uses two yuds in the word Vayitzer? The Gemara suggested yesterday. One opinion suggested that it's emphasizing the Yetzer Tov, that Hashem created a person with a Yetzer Hara, an evil inclination, and also a good inclination. And that's the Vayitzer. That's how the person was created. From Vayitzer questioned that approach. He had a question on that approach. And then the Gemara suggests a Rav Shimon Bar Ben Pazi, with three to the wide lines on Samach Aleph Amid Aleph, 61a. Meaning, with the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara, person has both. But that's not what the Gemara wants. A different opinion that says that's not the point of the yuds. The yuds is a different point. Because Shimon Pasi, the Omer of Shimon Pasi, only miyitzri. The yuds, the purpose of the yuds is referring to the yud, could be referring to one, to my creator, and one yud is referring to Yitzri, my evil inclination. A person is faced in life, a person with either disappointing Hashem, and if he disappoints Hashem, woe to him. Only woe to me, because there'll be punishment with Hashem. Only me Yitzri. Woe to me from my Creator, I go ahead and Sahara. But then, if I follow the Sahara, and my Creator will be happy with me. But then, only Yitzri. Woe to me. Good morning, Aaron. Only me Yitzri. I'm going to be, so to speak. I'm going to have Hivurim. Is going to try to cause me to have thoughts. The Yetzer Hara, meaning to say, when a person doesn't sin, right? He doesn't sin. He made the right, but the Yetzer Hara is nagging at him. You're controlling yourself. You control doing the sin. I'm not saying the thing that I shouldn't say. I'm not looking at the thing that I shouldn't look at. But the Yetzer Hara is trying to encourage me to do the thing that I shouldn't do. So therefore, do the right thing. So sometimes I am being nagged. I'm being by the Yetzer Hara who's still after me and trying to push me to do the sin. So there's this phenomenon person has in life. You need to do the right thing, because if I don't do the right thing, then will be very upset with me. And if I do the right thing, then the Yetzer Hara a lot of is upset with me. They're not following him, and he's going to continuously try to sometimes to do the wrong thing. Now, the obvious question is, why is this such an important point? I would say, if you tell me, if I do the wrong thing, woe to me from my Creator. That my Creator will be very upset with me if I follow my Yetzer Hara. So that's a very important point that everyone to know, that only me Yotzri, woe to me from my Creator if I do the wrong thing. Make sure I do the right thing, because if I do the wrong thing, there'll be great consequences. But what is the point of teaching us that go ahead and I do the right thing? The Yetzer Hara will still push me. Push me and tell me when I conquer the Yetzer Hara. So a lot of times he's still telling me, you didn't do the sin. Come on, do the sin. He's still trying to, sin, that he's not going to push me. Because I did it. What? Okay, so Yaron, very good. Yaron says that because there's a very great lesson. Now, I want to tell you what Yaron is saying, and I'm going to say something similar. I'm saying, person needs to know that when you conquer the Yetzer Hara, it doesn't mean it's all over. You won and it's finished. You need to know that you have to be on top of your game, and you have to be strong to know that he's coming back, and therefore you have to stay strong. And that's a very important lesson. And therefore the Torah wants to teach you that. Torah wants to teach you that even when you conquer the Yetzer Hara, you won the battle, but it doesn't mean you're going to win the war. Because maybe he's going to come after you, and they're being strong. I was saying similar to that a person should realize it's normal that the Yetzer Hara is going to keep at him. And when you know this is normal, that the Yetzer Hara is going to be after you, so you're not going to let it get to you and say, look, I'm driven by the Yetzer Hara, and I feel so distressed about it that I'm being nagged to do. I feel terrible about the situation, that this is where I am at, that after I did the right thing, I'm still faced with such challenges. And a person might stress, might feel saddened, might feel that, look, what did I accomplish? How much have I accomplished? Knocking out the Yetzer Hara. Good morning, Mr. Haber. When I won this battle, if he's still coming in, The answer is if you know this is the norm, therefore you'll accept it and you'll deal with it and you'll be that's perhaps a shot. So the Gemara, don't give up and no, that's the norm. When you know this is the norm, I don't have to think there's something wrong with me. And if I think there's something wrong in my, then a person will be tough on themselves, and the person won't be happy with themselves. No, be happy with yourself. You're not. He's coming back up to fight. You like it? He's coming back to fight. But that's the norm, and therefore you can live life with simcha. How do you like that, Abdaniel? Now, so the Gemara says, the Gemara Gemaras on Samach Aleph and Aleph, 61a. Inami, the fourth line in the wide lines of the Gemara. The first word of line is li. Inami Yirmiyah ben El. The Gemara just said that it's normal. So the right thing, it's normal, it's common that the Yetzer Hara is still going to push you. Even though you do the right thing now, he's still going to try to nag at you to try to still get you to do, and let it get to you. Don't, be strong. Inami ben Elazar, Dam Rabbi ben Elazar, do partsu Kadosh Baruch Hu b'Adam Harishon. Do is the Aramaic word for two. Hashem created a person with two faces. Person was created with two faces. Some translate to body, to like because the way Rashi seems to say, Rashi says that Hashem created two, one in the front and one in the back, and Hashem split them into two, split into two, and made one of them Chava. That's how the Gemara is trying to explain what's the double two yuds. The two is the idea of when Hashem created Adam, it was a double. What was the double? There were two faces. There was, you could say, a face of Adam and a face of, or maybe it's not clear from Rashi because Rashi doesn't say faces on the person that was created, and from one of those faces, good morning, Hashem made Chava. Good morning.
Morning.
That's what. Good morning. So the Gemara is saying now that Hashem, that the Yuds and the creation, when the Torah describes the creation of Adam, when he created Adam, it says two Yuds, Vayitzer, and the word has an. And the Gemara, one opinion states there were two faces, or you can learn there was two. There was like Siamese, two they were made originally connected to each other. The husband and the wife, so to speak, were made. Then God separated the two. And I think Rabbeinu Bachaye explains why did Hashem do it in this fashion? Why did Hashem, according to this opinion? I mean, both opinions. Everyone knows that Chava came from Adam. From Adam. The question is what was she originally? Was she originally a face? Was she originally had her own face, her own, and just Hashem just needed to separate them into two? Or was it, or some other opinion we'll see in the Gemara. So why did Hashem have to make originally two faces? Why didn't he make it like when Hashem created other living, he created the animals, he created them separately. Wasn't that he created the female and the male as one, and then he separated them into two? He created the male animal and the female animal separately. So one idea is that the fact that Chava came from Adam, that put into the nature that a woman and a husband could be so close, could have such a close relationship. And to have that level of love and the love of commitment to each other. Animals, they mate with anybody, there's no relationship. they go with this one and that animal. It's not a husband and a wife, but there should be a husband and a wife with understanding to each other, to understand each other, to able to be that level of harmony and unity and oneness is only because they came from each other. How do you like that? And that's the idea of why he originally created the Adam and Chava that way. And really, in a certain sense, that every marriage is also similar to that every man and woman came from that original, they were originally connected together. And therefore, you could reach that high level of closeness and love, which I saw one of the commentaries say that even the closeness is even greater than a parent to a child. Is that closeness of a husband and a wife? That's because they come from each other. That has that ability of that level of closeness. Okay, so that's what the Gemara says. So now that we're continuing in the Gemara, we are on Samach Aleph of an Aleph, and so the Gemara says 4 lines into the wide lines. What page in the art scroll? Samach Aleph 1, 2? Yes, 61A, number 1. So he says Kid Rabbi Yirmiyah ben Elazar, Rabbi Elazar, 2 partsufim, 2 faces. Baruch of Adam Harishon. Adam Harishon was created with 2 faces. Shenema Acha v'Kedem Sartani. There was a front, there was a back. I was created with a front and a back, meaning to say there was a front image, the front face, and there was a back face. Adam was created with 2 faces. Vayiven Hashem Elokim es hatzela. Now the Gemara is going to explain what does it mean.
That's really disturbing, to say that a person have 2 faces on his head. I think it's more metaphoric 2 faces talking about over here. Okay, or maybe 2 faces is like in the soul is like have the female and the male, because he create only the man in the beginning, and then later on he basically separate them, because the animal he create them Zachar and Nekeva, and the man he create only Zachar or Nekeva to get going. That's why he said 2 faces.
Right, but Rashi is learning. But
I don't think so. You can take it as literally like 2 faces on the man.
Okay, but it seems that Rashi seems to be learning that it's literal, according to this opinion. Because look what the Gemara is going to say, Yosef, right now. But even as Tzela, Elakim as Tzela, Hashem built the Tzela, the side of the person. Hashem built. There was a building process that Hashem needed to do over here to make Chava from Adam. So Rabu Shmuel, Charoma, one says the Partsuf, that it's referring to the Partsuf, that at the beginning of the creation, Hashem needed to go ahead and separate the Adam into 2 bodies. There was originally Adam was together. Adam and Chava there was 2 faces. And that's what it's referring to. He built it, that he went ahead and he separated them into Chava into a separate person. Charoma, and one says Zanav. Person in the beginning it was a Zanav. So some translate Zanav, there was a tail. Hashem took the tail of Adam. He originally had a tail, and then he made Chava from the tail. The Aruch says it doesn't mean there was a tail. The Adam had a tail, but he had something extra on his body. Not specifically a tail. There was some part of his body that was extra, something, and
it says from rib he created.
What'd you say?
It's in the story. It says also he took one of his rib. Tzela mitzolotav.
Right. The question: how do you translate tzela? So the Gemara is learning that the translating the tzela is not as a rib. The Gemara is learning that it means there was a part of a person, and the Aruch is not translating as a tail. It was a part of a person that was extra. Just like, a person, there's a part of a person let's say is created with something that's not necessary for him. A person needs a heart, needs a mind, needs a hands. Those are all things that a person needs. But there was something extra on the human body. There's something extra on the human body that was created with something extra. From that extra piece that was on the human body, Hashem created Chava. And obviously Hashem created that, put that extra piece in Adam for the purpose of making Chava from Adam. But
It's weird the way the language, Rabbi, is the language that the Torah used many times. It's kind of, completely a different understanding. When Moses went to Pharaoh and he threw the stick in front of him, you said right away it's a snake. But the Torah itself is a taninim, and taninim, we all know it's a crocodile, but the translation says it's a snake. And later on, he threw it again, and then he says in the Torah, again, it was a snake, he is saying, and that translation says it's also a snake. So it's like a double language over there, one says tanin and one says snake, but the translation says both time it was a snake.
Right. So over here, this is how we're going to understand the Gemara, which now this makes a lot of sense. This shot of the Aruch, there was something extra in the Adam, and that's how Hashem made it that way in order to make Chava. So now the Gemara is going to explain the Psukim, Yosef, according to the both opinions in the Gemara. Trying to analyze which opinion seems to be more fitting in the language of the Pasukim. The one that says that Selah is referring to the Partsuf, that Hashem split them into two people. That originally was made with two faces, and then Adam went into one, then Chava was separated. That Hashem, you created me with a face in the front and a face in the back. That was Adam and Adam, and then Chava. That's how you created me originally. Adam and Chava there was the face in the beginning, and then you went ahead and you separated into two parts. In a certain sense, you could say that a husband and a wife, when they unite together, they become back to the original of they were both originally together. Good morning, Mr. Aini. We want to welcome Mr. Aini has joined the class. It's an honor that you're here. Sirani, here's the words of Torah in the hallway, and he said, how could he not come in? Beautiful. So the Gemara says, Elamandi Amma, but according to the other Mandi Amma, with Zanav, that Hashem created Chava from an extra part of the Adam. From the extra part of the Adam, he created Chava. There was that Hashem created, Mr. Aini, we have two opinions in the Gemara. Chava, Eve, when God created the woman, how was she originally? Was she originally, Hashem created man with two faces, then he separated and they created Chava? Well, there's another opinion that says Hashem created Adam, the extra part. There's a part of his body, there's something extra originally, and then from that, he created that extra part in order to make Chava from that extra part. That's the two opinions in the Gemara, and the Gemara is trying to analyze those two opinions. So the Gemara says, according to the one that says that Adam was created, the Chava, Eve, was created from the extra part of the Adam. So what does it mean? You created me with a front and a back. What does it mean? Sartani. So the Gemara says, right. So how do you explain that? Another, you know what it means when it says in Tehillim, when David HaMelech says, I was created last and first. What does it mean how created last, front and back? It means God created man as the last of the creations. That means God, and that's part of the praise that we praise Hashem, that he prepared everything for us. Everything was created before we came. All the animals that we need for our help to work for the fields, all the animals that we need to eat, everything that we need, all the vegetation, the sun. When we came into a world, when Adam was created on the sixth day, everything was ready. Everything was ready for him. He had the lights, the Con Edison, the lights, the sun was already, the moon was already created on the fourth day. Everything was there. Everything was ready. And that's the kindness of Hashem. to have everything ready for us. Not that Adam is created now. I need to find something. I need food. I need something. It's not there. No, everything is ready. Right. So what did you say? It was everything was ready to roll. That's what it means. He was created at the end. But what does it mean, kedem? But when it comes to punishment, it says kedem. He's going to get punished first. He was also this phenomenon that Hashem made this concept that Adam sometimes will be punished before the other living items in the world, before the animals. And now the Gemara is going to explain what does that mean that Adam, we're going to find, the Gemara eventually is going to say, we're going to find by the Mabal, that by the Mabal, by the flood, Adam was punished first. So we're going to see, the Gemara is going to explain this a little more about the punishment. So let's see the Gemara. So we answered the question that when it says God created Adam with a front and a back, it doesn't mean front and a, one way you could translate front and back means with two faces. He had a face in the front and he had a face in the back. But the other pshat is front and back means, doesn't mean referring to the faces of Adam. Rather, it means the back means he was created in the back after everything else was created before him. That's the. No, the two youths we already said. One opinion is that Adam was created with a Yetzer Tov and a Yetzer Hara, or the two youths goes the other pshat goes like the other opinion, that two faces. Okay. Now the Gemara says, Bishlama achol ma'asav bereshit. Now the Gemara tries to explain what we just said. Bishlama achol, when you tell me Adam was created late at the end, let's ma'asav bereshit, that he was created at the end of the creation after on the sixth day. The lo ivri ad malashavta. Adam was created on Friday. That's what it means. He was created late. We were the ones late in the game, so to speak. But it's the real game, the real world. We were created in the Ma'aseh Bereshis. We were late. We were at the end. So that we can understand. Ella kadam leparanias. When the idea that we would be first to punishment, paranos demai. What punishment are we referring to? Ilema leparanos de nachash. You know the story with the snake, when the snake got Chava to take from the tree Eitz Hadat and gave it to Adam, and they sinned. So we had three beings. We had the snake was going to be punished, Adam was going to be punished, and Chava was going to be punished for that sin. Who got punished? Who got punished first? So really, you'll see it wasn't Adam that got punished first. It was a snake. We learned in the Braita, Rebbe Omer, Bigdula, when it comes to something of chashivut, when you want to give honor, when it's a question of giving honor to someone, who do you give honor first to? To the greatest person of the group. He gets the first honor. Bigdula min hagadol. You give the honor to the greater person first. When it's time to give that honor, who goes first? The greater person. Ubeklala, but when it comes to a curse, when it comes to a negative thing, you start from you don't punish the lower person gets the person not as great. You start from the one who's not as great, and then you move up the ladder till you actually punish the greater person. And where do we find the ksiv? By Yidabe, when it came to a certain mitzvah, which is something of greatness, doing a mitzvah, we find by Yidabe Moshe el Aharon. When he spoke to Aharon, first he spoke to the greater. There was Aaron, and then there was his sons, Elazar and Itamar. Elazar was the oldest son, Itamar was younger. So therefore, the order of speaking to it, you first speak to the father, Aharon, who was the greater one, and then that's the greater honor. You speak to him first, gave him the mitzvah, certain mitzvah of eating the korban. He's spoken to first, then you speak to the son that was older at that point, and Elazar and Itamar. It says Moshe spoke to Aaron, Elazar, Itamar, Banav Hanotorim. This is after Nadav and Avihu passed away. So these were the children that were left. Kahu, take the korban. B'klala, when it's a punishment, matchilim min katan, we start from the katan. And why do we find that? Because batchila niskalel nachash. The snake was the one who got cursed, was told about his punishment first. As it said, so niskal Chava. And afterwards, Chava was punished. And after Chava was punished, then Adam. That's how you go when you give in a certain sense, that's respectful to the greater person that they're the one who's punished last. So therefore, you see the punishment goes from the lower to the higher. The Sodom Skala Adam. Ella, the Paranias, the Gemara says, you know where this is referring to? That Adam got punished first? That was the Paranot de Mabul. When it came to the flood, in the time of Noah, what does the pasuk say? Who got punished first? Adam got punished first. The person Mabul Diksiv, Yimach es kol hayukum asher pnei Adama. Hashem blotted out, erased all the living life that was on the world. Me Adam ad behema. First Adam got punished, and I saw an idea why over there was different than the norm. Why was Adam? Because really, by the snake, they were all involved. They were all culprits in the sin. The Nachash was the one the snake enticed Chava and Adam to do the sin. So therefore, if they're all guilty, they're the ones that are mainly guilty. So therefore, you go ahead and they should be. Therefore, the lower gets punished first. But by the Mabul, the main people who are really responsible were the human beings, not the animals. The animals, whatever they did wrong, they were as a result of Adam corrupted, it affected the whole world. The animals were even affected, but it was really the real problem over there was the Adam. Therefore he got punished before the animals. So over there, the Reish Adam v'had behema. So now the Gemara says, Bishlama lamandi am patzuf. Now it addresses Yaron's point. The one who says patzuf, that he was created with two faces, that's why when the Torah refers to the creation of Adam, it says vayitzer vav yud yud sadik resh. Two yuds. The idea of there was two forms, two faces, but that's why there's two yuds, two letters of yud. Elaman diyama zanah. But the opinion that says that Adam was created from this Chava, Eve was created from this extra piece of flesh that Hashem placed when He created Adam. He left a certain spot on Adam, extra spot He put away to create Eve, to be Chava. So why does it say two yuds? My v'yitzeh. So the Gemara says, "Kid Reb Shimon ben Atasi," like we said in the one before. What is the two yuds saying? Like the Amar Shimon Atasi, "Olo meyotzri, olo meyitzri." Woe is from my creator and woe from my evil inclination. What does that mean? That means a person, every time you're faced with a sin, then if you're going to do the sin, then woe to me that my creator is going to be very upset with you. That's what the one yud says. My creator, meaning God, will be very upset if I follow my Yetzer Hara. So that's one yud. And therefore the Torah is telling you need to realize it will be bad news for you if you follow the evil inclination, because God will be upset. But then there's another point. The other yud is that if I don't follow the evil inclination, then then the Yetzer Hara, my Yetzer Hara is going to try to keep on nagging me. It's going to try to keep on pushing me, because he's not going to give up. I did the right thing. I controlled myself. The fact that I control myself today doesn't mean I'm going to control myself tomorrow, because therefore I need to recognize that the Yetzer Hara is going to still come after me. He's going to try to encourage me to sin. And therefore, we said, and that's an important point to know. If you know who your enemy is, and you identify what type of enemy you have, then you can deal with him. But if you don't recognize that that's your enemy, if you think, then you're not going to be ready for him. You're not going to be equipped to deal with him. If you know that you make the right decision today, the Yetzer Hara is going to try to come after you tomorrow. Then you still stay on, like Aaron said, you stay on top of your game. You know it's not over. The fact, and we find a lot of times in life, people did the right thing today, they controlled themselves today, but tomorrow they gave in. And that's why we can't do that. And that's a very important point. And that's why Hashem wants us to recognize the strength of the enemy that we have. There's a Sefer Chovot HaLvavot, where he writes that the Yetzer Hara, evil inclination, works 24/7, never gets tired because he's like an angel, like a malach, and he's the best lawyer. Every day he comes up with another excuse why we shouldn't do the right thing in life. So if you understand that you're going up against the best lawyer, then you're going to have to create yourself the best lawyer. You have to figure out how you could overcome. You have to recognize your opponent. Now, the Gemara says, Bishlama, the Partsuf, the one that says that Adam was created with two faces. So then I understand why it says Zachar u'Nekeva B'Ra'am. It says that Hashem created Adam as Zachar u'Nekeva. He created him as a male and female. That means from the beginning of his creation, according to that opinion, he was created. There was a man part to him, a woman part to him, and then he separated the woman and he made the Chava. So it fits in the language of he was created as Zachar when it came out. In the beginning, he was created together. But Elamandi Amar Zanav, that if it said the opinion that says that Adam was not, Chava was not, her face was not originally created with Adam. Rather, what did Hashem do? He took the extra part of Adam, and from the extra piece of flesh or whatever on the Adam, he created Chava. So what does it mean? They were created Zachar u'Nekeva. He was created as a man and a woman. He was not originally a man and a woman. He was just a man, and from the man created this woman. So the Gemara says, Kedar Bavo. Like Ravo. The Ravo Rami. Ravo asked the family question. Siv Zachar Nekeva Baram. It says in one pasuk that they were created as a male and female. And then we have another pasuk that says Kibitzelam Lakim Asas Adam. He was made with the image of Hashem, not a physical image. Image means you were given intellect, knowledge. So one pasuk says you were created as Adam. Sounds like one person. And one pasuk says you were created as a male and a female. That means Hashem created Adam originally with two faces, and then eventually separated Chava to make her independent as one, not still connected, but meaning as not together. So the Gemara says, so how do you explain the apparent contradiction? So the Gemara answers, that really the idea was that you would have said on a logically, you would say that Adam should have been created as two. The Chava should be created. The woman should be created separate than the man, just like all the other living species. Hashem created the male animal and the female animal. We're not animals. We're people. Remember that. But you would have think you're going to be separate. You're going to be two people. So you would have thought Hashem. So you would have thought Hashem should create Adam and Chava separate from each other originally. Yet that's what the pasuk is saying. No, Hashem didn't do it that way. He created them. They were originally one. There was originally only Adam, and from Adam he made Chava. That's what the Gemara. And the point of that is because Hashem, like we said before, Hashem wanted man and woman to be so close. The only way to reach that closeness that a husband and a wife could be so close is by the fact that they were created as one, and then from the one they went into two people. But if they would have been originally created separate, Adam separate, and Chava separate, then they never would have come to that closeness, that relationship that a husband and wife is able to have. And that's what the Gemara says. That's what the pasuk says. Zachar Nekeva. You would have thought that they should be created as two, but they were created as one. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you also for every word counts. Every word is a mitzvah. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
200 words a minute. So 200 words a minute. So that means 200 mitzvot. Every minute is 200 mitzvot. How do you like that? 10 minutes, 2,000 mitzvot.
Rabbi, that's why they said a real soulmate, when they got married, with the years, they start looking like each other,
We still don't look alike.
Oh, very good. Very good. Because they were originally one.
Yeah,
Okay.
We don't look the same.
we are. You don't see that. I see it.
Have a great day. See your wife's enjoying. Have a great day, everybody. Jaime, have a great day.
Where's the baby?
Good morning. Thank you. How you
Send,
doing?
send picture of the baby. I want to see it.
Okay, Bez Hashem. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye,
Take care.
Rabbi.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.